This is an American Douchebag Productions.
Greenie, I'm pulling your coat from the bottom to the top. We are the absolute bosses of hustling in the world out there. When you look in the mirror, you gotta know that cold-hearted bastard looking at you is real.
Here you go, fool. A young chump is just like a dumb bitch. Can't figure nothing out for himself. He needs a rundown on everything. Of course I drove those whores crazy. What's good, family? What's good? It's your man, Mr. O with the info. Give me what you need to know, but, you ain't here for me though. Welcome back to The Real Pill. We got another one that hits different. You know, Lavar Ball, the loud, flashy, big baller brand patriarch who built an empire for his sons. You know, LaMelo, Lonzo, and I forget LiAngelo. Is it LiAngelo, something like that? The one that got caught with the blicky overseas. You know, two out of three sons. You know, he still raised into an empire. You did. Just announced a couple of days ago, he's divorcing his wife, Tina, after 30 years of marriage. Let me say that again. Not 10 years, not 20 years, 30 years. That's 3 decades of marriage. Being together, coming up with 3 sons, becoming future ballers in NBA. Okay. This ain't some young, hot mess situation. And shout out to CGA, Coach Greg Adams. You know, either one that basically I brought this phrase into the lexicon, but it's been around, but he really magnetized this thing. This is Gray divorce. Gray divorce. Old folks who stayed through the trenches, thick and thin, only for one side to say, I'm out. I'm gone. And the part they really don't want to talk about, Lavar was right there nursing Tina back to health after her stroke. Sacrificed, protected, provided, stood tall when shit got real. And still, here we are. Let that marinate. I mean, nurse her back from a stroke. Let that marinate. You build the brand. You raise 3 talented sons in the spotlight. You stand by your wife through major health scares. You nurse her back when the body fails. You hold the family down through all the ups and downs of fame and pressure. And after all that sacrifice, she still wants a divorce. This is the part society hates discussing. They love the strong black family narrative when it fits the agenda. But when the wife decides she's done, yeah, I know she white. I know she white. I know. But we gonna roll with the strong black family on this one. Even after the husband carried her through literal life and death moments, suddenly it's crickets, or she deserves happiness. Mr. O says, this is the cold truth a lot of married men don't want to face. Your sacrifices don't buy permanence. Your loyalty don't lock the door. Your protection and provision can still get you served papers at the finish line. Yeah. Great divorce and societal silence. Now let's zoom out. This is called Great Divorce. People over 50 splitting up at record rates. And nobody wants to talk about what's driving it, especially when women initiate after decades. They'll cry about male loneliness all day. You know, that's that favorite buzzword going around. Male loneliness all day. But when it comes to older women leaving marriages after the heavy lifting, allegedly, is done, media gets real quiet. No deep dives into why so many wives cash out once the kids are grown and the husband still holding the bag. But because the conversation would force people to admit modern marriage often isn't a partnership. It's a contract that heavily favors one side. And when that side decides the deal is no longer beneficial, they exit. Lavar Ball is just the latest high-profile example. But this story plays out in regular homes every single day. So, my question, and I think a lot of men in this day and age now is really asking this particular question. What's in it for men? What's in it for men to get married? Here's the real pill, and shout out to Black Rant 313. Here's the real pill nobody wants to swallow. What exactly is the incentive for men in 2026 to get married? You risk losing half or more of everything you built. You risk your kids. Yeah, your little lovable liabilities, your little crumb crushers, your peace, and your legacy. You pour decades into loyalty and provision only to watch it potentially evaporate because she's not happy or found herself after you carried her through the hardest parts. Even if you do everything right, sacrifice, protect, nurse through strokes and storms, the exit door is always open for her. And society will cheer her bravery while calling you bitter if you speak on it. I say, Mr. O says, marriage used to be a team sport with real benefits for both sides. Today, it's a rigged game where men are expected to bet their entire life on someone who can tap out at any moment and still get celebrated for it. This is why more aware brothers, such as myself, are choosing different paths. SYSBM, the Past Pro Bro movement, focus empire building without the ring, not because we hate women, because we respect ourselves too much to play Russian roulette with our future. Final thought. Protect your legacy. Yeah, Lavar said they have basically been separated for a couple of years now without the public's knowledge. And he said they had a good run. He might be a little hurt on the inside, but you know the brother know how to keep a tough exterior for the presses and whatnot. Even now, he say he got a nice little young thing in his life that pick up the pieces and basically helping him with his amputee leg and everything. He even had to go through his own medical debacle. He nursed her back whole from a stroke, but soon as a little piece of him is gone, she want to go ahead and dip. Bottom line, Lavar Ball situation is a loud warning. No amount of sacrifices guarantees loyalty in this era. Great divorce is rising and society wants to pretend it's not happening or that men are always the problem. Protect your money, protect your peace, protect your legacy, build regardless. But understand the game before you sign the contract. If this hits you in the chest, please like, subscribe, drop your thoughts below. Have you seen this pattern in your own circle? And, as always, stay cold-blooded, my friends. Peace. I'm gone. It's better to have no whore than a piece of whore. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want you to donate, you can sock it to my pocket at Cash App, $MISTERO070. And you can hit my email if you want to go ahead and support the content.
They say they cold-blooded. I'm pulling your coat from the bottom to the top. We are the absolute bosses of hustling in the world out there. When you look in the mirror, you gotta know that cold-hearted bastard looking at you is real.
This is an American Douchebag Productions.